Hi, thank you. Okay, so my name is Ju. I'm one of the members of Blast Theory. So I want to talk to you about a project that we made last year in Japan and some of the ideas around that work. I've recently become interested in sourdough and the process of making sourdough. What happens is you make a culture or a starter using flour and water, and you take a piece of the culture to make a loaf of bread, and you continue to feed the remaining culture for future breads that you want to eat. Some people keep these cultures for 20 years or longer, spawning more and more breads. The Hutterites are a group, a religious group dating back to the 16th century. They're pacifist, mostly rural, and almost self-sufficient. They live in small groups. They believe that a community can get too big, somewhere between 60 and 250 people. And when their colony grows to a near maximum size, then the community has to split. A daughter colony is made, a parcel of land is bought, and the community is built for the new members who have split off from the original group. And so it keeps on going. The Hutterites may seem like a slightly old-fashioned idea, but the anthropologist Richard Dunbar also seems to think that around 150 people is the ideal number of people to create social, stable relationships where everyone knows each other and can relate to each other. The work we make in Blast Theory is always interactive, whether it's a game, a piece for a gallery, a work on the streets, or a public artwork. What we do is invite people in, creating a community for each work. One of our roles as artists is to be like architects and design frameworks for the work to operate within for the audience, the user, the participant, the viewer, the bystander, making the most appropriate shape that fits the subject, that fits the technology, and at the best possible scale. We're interested in the moments where things can change course, where what you think you know is turned on its head, the offer turns, and the carpet is pulled away from underneath you. We're interested in where and how strangers get to know each other and become closer, friends maybe, lovers, family. What is the proximity between these points? So in 2013, we were invited to make a public artwork for the Aichi Triennale in Nagoya. Its theme was awakening, which referred to the social and political changes since the tsunami in 2011. The project that we made involved a group of people coming together to pull a 30-ton fishing trawler out of the water, taking it across the city of Nagoya at night and pushing it into its final position in the park. Here the boat sat for 3 months while people visited the boat, and the film of the process was watched on iPads. So what I'd like to do is show you a small clip of the last phase of this project. The entire film is about 15 minutes, so I'm just going to show you a little section. So that's just a very short clip, and the film takes you through the night and the crane moving the boat and so on. That's the boat in the air, and that's it being dragged out of the water. So originally we were interested in the tipping point of the storm, and Matt Adams, one of the artists from Blast Theory, went to Sendai to interview a fisherman who'd been in the storm. However, after reading Rebecca Solnit's book, A Paradise Built in Hell, we decided to go a different way with the project. The book describes some major disasters from the San Francisco earthquake of 1906 up to the present day, and how ordinary people came together and still come together in extraordinary ways to help each other. This is a quote from the book. "The possibility of paradise hovers on the cusp of coming into being, so much so that it takes powerful forces to keep such a paradise at bay. If paradise now arises in hell, it's because in the suspension of the usual order and the failure of most systems, we are free to live and act another way." So when the usual systems of order and control have been destroyed, we self-organize and take action. We comfort, we distribute resources, we save, and the emergency services and the press get there later. I met a man in Nagoya who told me of a belief that some people hold in Japan, that someone is always watching out for you. Maybe this comes from the idea that someone is always watching you. I'm not sure. But certainly, during our project, it felt like this. The work set up communities of people over months. A fisherman, a stranger, gave us his boat. Food stalls and drink and restaurant type of things occurred in the middle of the night, set up by a group of women who we didn't know, completely unplanned, to look after us as we were lifting the boat on the crane. People gave a massive surge of sustained energy. They gathered around the realization of an idea. It brought people together, enacting, rehearsing, practicing, trying something out together. In an article in The Economist about Fukushima last year, I read that the problem at the nuclear power station got worse because of reflexive obedience, the reluctance to question authority, a devotion to sticking to the program, groupism, and insularity to the nation at large. What we ultimately like to do in our work is set up structures where we give the audiences, our audiences, and ourselves permission to act otherwise. This is the most important thing: to question, to play out, to consider, during the time frame of the work, with a group of people or alone, the possibilities of other ways, of new ideas, of change. Thank you.